Pauline Rogalla, and this is my pitch for sports studies. So, I've always had a really big passion for sports when I was young and even throughout high school, um, and also the industry of it. I've participated in business management course, which has really opened my mind to a lot of business aspects, which I further expand to learn about in this course, such as the mechanics and organizational structures of the industry. And combining my passion for sports and this course really allows me to explore my aspirations in this topic. I would love to work in a field with a lot of open minded people, which I've been exposed to in an international school, to come up with creative and positive solutions in the industry and also to work together and grow together as a community. I would describe myself as optimistic, and some of my weaknesses are perfectionist and stubborn. Yet, although I will always attempt to do my best in everything I do and do the best that I can.
So, what are some traits and skills that Pauline Rogalla possesses for entry into your sports studies program? I would have to say, right off the bat, there are three main personality traits that Pauline possesses that would make her an excellent candidate for your program. Number one, and the most recently developed of her skills and traits, is leadership. She is a phenomenal leader. She leads by example, whether it be in drills, in the intensity and effort she puts into practice. She shows up and gives 110%, which of course translates onto both the courts when she's in the game. So it's great for younger players to see her leading by that example, as well as taking younger students under her wing and showing them how certain things can be done, whether it be a basketball drill or a spiking drill in volleyball. So leadership is definitely number one. One of the second ones is her ability, in terms of that leadership, to be a very good mentor. And she possesses some, and again, these are skills that she's developed over the years. I've coached her for the past 4 years in both basketball and volleyball. And I've seen these things develop. And now she's really gotten to a stage where mentorship and her ability to mentor the younger players on the team, giving them tips, feedback in a positive, encouraging way, not necessarily very critical, but in a growth mindset sort of way. So it's very great to see her grow into that role as a mentor for younger students and younger players. And finally, I would have to say that her patience with other players, the patience to work with younger players or with players that have less experience, and connect her own growth process as an athlete, and connect those things with those players is yeah, it's definitely a skill that she possesses, is that patience. Very good coaching patience. She'll make a great coach one day, I'm sure, in terms of that. While we're on the topic of patience, I would say that a few things she needs to work on. Number one would be patience, but this time patience with herself. I've seen it time and again with her that she will often get impatient when something doesn't come to her right away. If she's in a game and she's missing shots on the basketball court, or if her timing's off on spikes or serving, she can sometimes let it get to her, and she gets impatient with it. But she's able to calm herself down and bring herself back into the game usually. But yeah, taking the time to sort of say, hey, listen, I don't need to, stuff happens to everybody. Everyone has a slump. Um, so the patience that she shows with the younger players, taking the time to give herself that patience to find whatever she needs to find in terms of bringing herself back into the game. That would be one of the things she needs to work on. Um, you know, whether it be through mindful activities or meditation or what have you, but yeah, definitely taking the patience for herself. The second thing would be, and this again is less now, but more when she was a younger player, but I still see it sometimes, is when she is met with players that are older, have more experience than her, and I see the confidence that she normally exhibits. She can sometimes shrink back into herself and leave it to those older, more experienced players to take over. And I would suggest one thing she can work on is really figuring out how she can fit into a leadership role alongside those more experienced players, and contribute in the way that only she can as a good player herself, as someone who is a great athlete and dedicated. Um, she just knowing that she has that ability to do that as well, even when there are people more experienced than her, that she can still contribute in the same way. Just yeah, fitting in within the scope of having several leaders on the team, which is always a possibility. So that's what I would say are the characteristic traits that would make her a great entrant, great candidate into your sports studies program. Feel free to reach out to me if you need any further information about Pauline and her background as a student athlete. Fantastic work ethic. So yeah, I can't think of anybody better to get into a sports studies program than Pauline. So thank you and have a nice day.